As lawmakers, this inflation is real. It's harming people. It's 7.5%. That's a tax.
Awesome news, everybody. We got some exact dates about when the fourth stimulus check could be coming to you guys. So you want to continue watching this video to find the most important stimulus check, SSDI, and Social Security news. Social Security recipients can expect the first stimulus checks of February to be sent out within a couple of days, and the money will no doubt be very welcome as the latest figures show inflation is now at 7% and expected to climb higher in the coming months. Inflation jumped in December at its fastest year-over-year pace in nearly 4 decades, surging 7% and raising costs for consumers, offsetting recent wage gains and heightening pressure on President Biden and the Federal Reserve to address what was becoming America's central economic concern. It's really crazy to see how much prices have spiked during the economic recovery. Gas prices, while declining a bit from November to December, have surged in the past year. Grocery stores and businesses have been recently increasing as well, but the prices have wiped out the pay increases that many Americans have been receiving, making it harder for households to keep up with this. Social Security checks have seen a boost because of the 5.9% COLA increase. It was the biggest COLA rise in 40 years, and it means that checks will see a $92 increase on average, from around $1,500 to around $1,700. It comes as families with children can automatically get monthly SSI payments worth around $687 on average. Around 5 million people received SSI checks last month, as the program is designed to help seniors as well as disabled adults and children. And if your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of the month, then your payment will be distributed on the second Wednesday. If your birthday is on the 11th and 20th, then your payment will be distributed on the third Wednesday. And then your payment will be distributed on the third Wednesday, which is February 23rd. According to data reports, Social Security payments increased by 5.9% for roughly 70 million American retirees, which is the sharpest rise in over 40 years. The monthly payments are dependent on your employment history and the age at which you first began to claim your payments. Folks, I really hope that President Biden does something about this, and I hope that he does send out more stimulus payments. Do you think he will? Tell me in the comments down below. Now, I know many of you are wondering about the status of the $1,400 fourth stimulus check. Well, a nonpartisan advocacy group called the Senior Citizens League has repeatedly called on Congress to send those receiving Social Security additional money. I do support Congress sending out a fourth stimulus check to senior citizens, specifically those that are in need of it the most. Plus, the campaign began during the announcement of the 5.9% COLA increase. It has continued after reports from thousands of seniors experiencing financial hardships, and researchers have found that the costs for seniors have only outpaced COLA increase. So, lawmakers have to be ready for this, and lawmakers have already approved monthly expanded child tax credit for families. So now it's time to help other seniors.
And it continues to increase, it's not decreasing. So the feds have to step up to the plate and do something. The administration has to do. We all have to work together right now to get our financial house in order. If not, it's going to be absolutely horrible what it's going to do to the American economy.
And what do you think about just yesterday, Speaker Pelosi doubled down and, well, tripled or quadrupled down, I guess, on Build Back Better would help fight inflation?
This is not a time to be throwing more fuel on the fire. We have inflation, and we have basically an economy that's on fire. You don't throw more fuel on a fire that's already on fire, causing the problems that we have. So we've got to get our house in order. And it's all about the economy, and it's about the inflation that we're dealing with, and it's about how do you restrain yourself from continuing to throw more fuel to the fire.
Senator, on today's hearing, there's some concern that we're going to get more reliant on raw minerals that this country may not have the more we go toward green, like electric vehicles.
Well, let me just tell you this. I've been very much concerned about that, and I have said I am not going to vote with my vote. I'm not going to vote to put our country in a situation where we're going to be dependent on foreign supply chains for the fuel that we need and how we run our economy. I'm just not going to do it. And you can't throw caution to the wind. We're the greatest nation on earth. We should be able to be energy independent and take care of ourselves. And we can do that while we help our allies around the world. We're not doing what we should do and what we could do, and you can't basically just say you wish it away and it happens. You can transition in a responsible way, and that's what we're looking at. But we're all responsible for the climate. We can do it better. You can innovate your way to a cleaner climate. You can't eliminate your way.
How do you think the inflation will affect Democrats in the mid?
I don't know on the political. People should quit worrying about the politics. You know, the worst thing that can happen is you lose. Do the right thing for the American people. Be an American. Don't worry about being a Democrat or Republican. Be an American. Do our jobs that we swore an oath to. That's it.
Can I ask you a bit about there's a bunch of mask changes with the Democrats and blue states.
I got you.
Right. Thanks for your time, Senator Mitchell.
Thank you, Gina. So happy to be leading the charge with you. And I'm happy to be standing here sandwiched between our two electric vehicles. Secretary Buttigieg and I both have two of the electric vehicles that are in that 600,000 electric vehicle fleet, and more to come, obviously. So the future is electric, and this administration is moving toward it at lightning speed. So as Gina mentioned, in August, the president and the big three automakers stood side by side in the Rose Garden, I think with a number of those who are here, including Congresswoman Dingell, to be able to say that the private sector is committing that half of their fleet will be electric by 2030, which is amazing because, as Gina said, we are really moving in that direction so fast that we may even get there sooner than that. But we're not going to go electric fast enough if we don't have the ability to eliminate range anxiety for people and to be able to have them plug in wherever they live, wherever they work, wherever they want to head. And so today, to make sure that every American can not just purchase an electric vehicle, but use it wherever they go, we're so happy to be able to give guidance to the states across the country about how to access the funding in this, in the announcement today, which is $5 billion and the guidance for states for setting up to 500,000 electric vehicle charging ports across the country. That $5 billion will be part one of the effort that we are undergoing with the joint office between the Department of Energy and the Department of Transportation. This first tranche is really the spine of our transportation system. The preference will be for charging stations along highways and transportation corridors. Part two will be in partnership with states and local governments and tribal communities to make sure that this charging ability is in all communities, particularly in communities that have not had access to charging stations. We want to make sure that every community has the ability to not just have a vehicle, but charge it as well. So the detailed guidance, which is on the website, is being released today, and this joint office that we have set up will help every state decide on how and where they're going to be establishing these chargers. And